Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to episode 9 of Hermes Talks podcast. We've got quite a bit to talk about today. We got 6 different things to talk about. So we're going to be quite busy. And we don't want the podcasts to be too long. So just a quick update. Sold 2 properties this week. Sold 2 last week, listed 1 last week, and listing another one this week. So real estate's going really well at the moment. Got a huge property coming up in a suburb that I don't want to disclose on the podcast, but it's about $3 million, which I'm looking really forward to. It's going to be an amazing property to sell. We've got the video shoot and we're getting some footballers involved. It's going to be bang on. If you're interested in seeing what I do in this real estate space, you can follow me on Instagram, Luke Funieri, my full name. It's in my link tree, which I generally link in every podcast. So that's that. But in the sense of esports and gaming, Team Militia, we're getting a website done this week. And we're hoping to get some merch and apparel out probably by the end of the month. And then, we've put a halt on recruitment at the moment. It's invite only for Team Militia at the moment. So everybody that's in Team Militia is pretty much safe. We're not really exiting anyone, but we're not taking any new people on at the moment. Because we just want to try and more officialize this, create a bigger community. And I think we'll probably be focusing on community over the next couple of months. And then next year is going to be a big year for Team Militia, huge year for Team Militia. Hopefully we get some investors coming on board and we can start making some really big moves. But we're moving in the right direction and we're just taking baby steps at the moment, but it's all moving in the right direction. But a couple things I wanted to touch on in esports. So I don't know if you guys know, or for the people who are listening, I don't know if you are aware who Chiefs is. Chiefs Esports company, I think the C stands for Chiefs. Anyway, Chiefs, they're probably one of the biggest esports teams in Australia, or most well known. They've probably got the biggest sponsors. They're across the most games. They probably have the biggest creators in the esports space in Australia. They have been acquired by Team Bliss. Now, I had no idea who Team Bliss were, to be honest with you. Don't know who they were, what they did. I went on their Twitter and they're more of like a community type esports team. Like I didn't even know they had it. Like looking them up right now on leading the change through esports education and sustainability. So I'm not too sure what they do or how they did it. It doesn't sound like they've got a huge amount of money behind them. They don't have that many followers on Instagram. Their posts don't get a huge amount of interaction, but they're in a fair few games. They do a fair few community events. So they somehow managed to acquire a majority of Chiefs, which was good to see at the same time. But that was interesting to see. The only other thing of note in that sense was Whippy. So Whippy is a CEO of where was he? It was a CEO of an esports team in Australia. I can't find him anymore. Anyway, so this week in esports in Australia, we've had Team Bliss acquire Chiefs, which was huge. I'm wondering if Chiefs was in some sort of financial trouble and Team Bliss has acquired them to get them out of the trouble. Or I know Nick Boba, who was the managing director of Chiefs, has also stepped down and he's got some things coming up. But he owns Icon Esports, or he's the CEO of Icon Esports, who bought Chiefs. So there's a lot of things going on in Australia right now that are a little bit concerning when it comes to the esports space, because like we're not massive, right? We're not a big country when it comes to esports. So the teams that are here, generally the bigger ones survive because they get the sponsors, because they've got all the money coming in, because they're the bigger ones. But then to see they're generally self-sustainable, whether they're making profit is another question, but they're generally self-sustaining. Whereas Team Bliss has got like a headquarters in Brisbane. They must be huge. Somehow they're massive, and I've never heard of them before, but they're big. And it was just really interesting to see that a team who is not well known at all acquire such a massive Australian esports brand. And I don't know what to say about it. I kind of feel weird. I feel like esports is struggling in Australia at the moment. Just this week, you've had two, like Whippy, I can't remember the esports team he was a part of. I really wish I could find it. I didn't save anything about it. But he joined, he's stepped down. Did I like the post? No, I didn't. So yeah, it was just an interesting thing to see about someone that big get acquired by someone that must be really well funded. But regardless, next thing is ESL. So for those of you who don't know, ESL is a competitive tournament for CSGO, and they're in Australia. They've now dropped. They're not competing anymore. So they're going to finish up the Australian and New Zealand year. So this year ending. So Australia, so ASL Championship program in Benelux, France, Spain, Turkey will not operate their final season this year, while Australia, New Zealand, Brazil, Germany, Poland, and United Kingdom and Ireland will play a final season in 2023 before stopping in 2024. So that's huge. ESL was one of the biggest tournaments for Counter-Strike, and they're done. So that will mean local tournaments only. They won't have the funding of ESL, but that's massive news right there. I don't know what or why, what's going on at the moment with esports, but I don't know. I feel like there is a bit of struggle because, like, you see, there's still America, there's still South America, North America, South America. You still got them. You've still got who else? Germany, Brazil. Yeah, it's America. It's just America. Like, I feel like the America esports is just pulling the whole name towards America. And if you want anything to do with esports, you need to just basically be in America. And the fact that they're not investing money into any of these esports teams. You've got acquisitions happening. You've got CEOs of larger organizations stepping down and no longer running their organization that they built is a little bit concerning. And I'm not too sure why this is all happening. There's no announcements. Everything's very close knit. Chris Smith, who I've mentioned before, who does big, so business in gaming, he had a massive part of that acquisition with Team Bliss, and he's now been brought on board as an advisory role for 2 years to help with the acquisition and grow the two brands. So the two brands still run simultaneously. Chiefs is still Chiefs, Team Bliss is still Team Bliss. They would just fall under the Team Bliss umbrella. I wonder, I don't know. I wonder if then Icon will then acquire Team Bliss and then have all three. And Nick Boba, who's been massive in the esports space and from a business perspective, is got something planned. And then they're bringing on massive investors. That could be an option. Either way, someone invest in Team Militia. We got this, bro. You give us some money, and we will make Australian esports huge. But ESL also quitting the ESL National Championship. Look, ESL, in my opinion, they've never really done anything special. They've hosted a tournament, but for them, it just seemed about money and profit. And I don't know, aside from them being good in the sense that they would actually provide something to the esports world in esports tournaments was amazing, and they did their part. But in the sense of like CSGO, I don't know, maybe because CS2 is coming out and they haven't got the contract and it's all being done by Valve, who knows. They still have COD Mobile, and they've still got, I think they've got another couple of tournaments. I think they do a League of Legends, Apex, they do Apex. So I don't know, unless it's just Counter-Strike that they're no longer supporting because Counter-Strike is now CS2, and because CS2 is the tournaments are going to be run by Valve directly, or they're going to be community orientated, who knows. But it's just interesting to see that's three major things happen in 1 week of esports, and I'm not a fan. I wonder what's happening. There must be something happening behind the scenes for next year, especially in Australia with this massive acquisition. But I don't know. I guess time will tell. Team Militia is still good, by the way. We are healthy. Someone come and give us some money, and I think we'll be all right. We'll show everybody how it's done. But that was that. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Okay, so they've dropped a multiplayer maps, and then they had a little bit of gameplay in those maps to show the maps off. Oh my god, Call of Duty looks great this year. It looks X-Defiant. I don't know, man. X-Defiant, I think you're done. I think you're done. I think you took way too long to try and implement everything. You wanted everything to be perfection. Call of Duty knows what it's about, man. You had 2 million people play your beta, X-Defiant. You've had countless people just waiting to just play your game, and you refuse to drop it because you want to make the game perfect. It's not going to happen. It's very unlikely that a game will be dropped perfect, because you're going to have millions of people playing it, and stuff's always going to happen. And I don't know. Call of Duty's just dropped all these Modern Warfare 2 maps, and they're bringing out they're going to bring a beta in October. I think X-Defiant has potentially screwed themselves in a way, because they took too long to release the game. I know they wanted it to be perfect, but it's never going to be perfect. Call of Duty is going to drop Modern Warfare 3. They're going to have the hype around the nostalgia from the Modern Warfare 2 maps. It's got quick movement. It looks good. It looks really good. I'm excited for it, actually, to be honest with you. First Call of Duty I would have played in probably like 4 or 5 years, which I'm probably going to get. And X-Defiant. I was really looking forward to that game. But if Call of Duty drops and it's good, and X-Defiant didn't capitalize on a stale game, and they're now going to have to compete with a brand new Call of Duty that everybody is hyped for, I don't know, man. Donald Mustard or whatever the hell. No, Donald Mustard's epic. I don't know what they're... Anyway, whoever's running the joint at X-Defiant, you need to just drop that game, man. You need to drop that game. Because, yeah, the maps look great. The movement looks really good. It looks fast-paced. It looks like how Call of Duty should be. I don't know, man. I don't know. X-Defiant, I was really looking forward to it. It was going to be my game. I've been telling everybody it's going to be my game because I'm sick of Fortnite. But I think they've just screwed themselves. I don't know. But also, what else have we got here? iPhone 15 Pro was released. I'm a bit of a nerd with my technology. So iPhone 15 Pro and iPhone 15 and Apple Watch Series 9 and Apple Watch Series 2, Ultra 2, all dropped this week. All announcements were, last Wednesday. And Wednesday just passed. This is Monday. Wednesday just passed. They were all announced. 15 Pro, nothing changed. It looks exactly the same. Slightly thinner bezels, new operating system, slightly better camera. But the major change was USB-C this year. I like it. USB-C would make my life whole lot easier. We'll suss it out whether I decide to purchase it or not. But USB-C was huge because now everything I own is USB-C. So I don't have to have 2 chargers on me. All I need is AirPods with USB-C, and I need Apple Watch to be able to charge somehow via USB-C. But even if that's not the case, just being able to charge your AirPods and just having one cable. I mean, two cables if necessarily, if you need to charge your watch with you, but you get 2 days of battery life around that, so that's not the end of the world. But having just USB-C. You'll also be able to plug in a hard drive directly into the iPhone. So if you're recording in your ProRes footage in 4K, you can have an external drive plugged in directly to the phone, and you will be able to record directly onto the hard drive. So that could be handy for people who do videography with the iPhone. I do for real estate. I use my iPhone for a fair chunk of stuff, actually. And so I think that's a good move. Other than that, Apple always revolutionizing everything. Always, everything they do is revolutionary, but nothing they do is revolutionary. Everything they've done is been done by somebody else before. They just put the Apple twist on it. And although it is probably going to be better, faster, smoother, better quality, ease of life type thing, nothing they do is revolutionary. It's the same shit every single year. And it's just not great. But anyway, everyone will end up buying it anyway. So that's just what happens when you're Apple. You can do minor increases of performance, minor feature increases every year, and all the fucking fanboys are going to buy it anyway. So yeah, that's what happens, I guess. But aside from that, so iPhone looks good. USB-C is a huge thing that I'm looking forward to. Excuse me. XDefiant is in major trouble after the Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer maps were dropped. The movement, it just looks so good. I'm just watching a bit of the clips here now. Invasion. Oh my God. Favela. We got Skid Row. The maps just look. Yeah. And the little bits of movement. High Rise is going to be amazing. Estate. Oh, I remember. Estate. Karachi. Oh my God. Underpass. Oh, they're all such good maps. So if you pair them, and they've made a couple of improvements to allow for modern day Call of Duty. So obviously modern day people are better. Back then people weren't that good. It was, they've adapted the game a little bit. So they've changed the map slightly to allow for better view or better sights, and they've made certain aspects of it a little bit bigger or more cover. But with the extra movement, Afghan, oh my God. With all the extra movement and stuff like that, so they've changed bits and pieces to make sure that it flows smoothly and, feel the view is good. XDefiant, man. I really wished I had dropped it like a week ago. If they just dropped it a week ago, or end of August would have been ideal. People would have had a couple of months to play it before Call of Duty comes out. And if they really, really, really enjoyed it, they would have just stayed and played XDefiant. They wouldn't have even bothered with it. Now it's getting too close. It's getting way too close to the Call of Duty release. It's getting way too close to the beta. I think they're in trouble. I don't know. Maybe they've still got that solid fan base, but I know if Modern Warfare 2 maps mixed with modern day COD, if they bring back some old school guns or they tweak things so that it feels good and it's not futuristic and you've just got quick movement, they're in trouble, man. They're in trouble. If they have quick scoping, oh my God. Quick scoping's back. XDefiant, I really wish you guys had just released the game earlier, but we'll see what happens. We never know. Maybe it releases and it sucks and people just go back to XDefiant because it's free. Or maybe XDefiant comes out a week before people start playing it. They love it. It works really well. And then they don't have to worry about anything. You never know what's going to happen. So, Yeah, but that's interesting. But I'm really, at the moment, my main concern with esports, gaming and tech aside, is I think there's more to this Team Bliss acquiring Chiefs EFC. You've got Nick moving on. And I really would like to speak to someone. Not that I'm a sort of journalist that people are going to tell me anything anyway, but I don't know. I really feel like esports in Australia is struggling. There's no money in it. The players that do get good just move to Europe or America to be able to excel their career and be better off, make more money. Because the players that we try to recruit that are half decent in, say, Fortnite, for example, they just want money. They just want as much money as possible, and they don't really care. Like, they'll represent any team that's just going to give them the bag, and you don't really want those people on your team. So I think for us at the moment, we've just got to try and I think we need to expand into more, reputable games like League of Legends or Counter-Strike or Valorant, maybe even like a Rocket League. Games where, Fortnite, massive esports and massive competitive, but a lot of younger player base, like they're all 16 to like 20. I'm not saying they don't have younger kids in other games, but if you look at like Counter-Strike, they're all older, like 18 plus. If you look at COD, they're all 18 plus. If you look at like Apex, they're all older players. Fortnite's a lot of young players, a lot of 16-year-olds, a lot of like 17, 18-year-olds. And the money is not really in Fortnite. But if we expand out of Fortnite, like we've got a Valorant streamer now, so we've expanded into Valorant, but we're trying to get a pro Valorant team. But the ones that we've spoken to want too much money. So we either need to get this investor down packed, or we need to try and get a reasonably priced Valorant team, or even CSGO or Apex, even Call of Duty. If Modern Warfare 3 ends up being a pop-off game, Call of Duty this year competitively will be insane. And that could be a good way. The only problem is I don't know how big the COD community is in Australia anymore, because I kind of left that 5 years ago. Fortnite was kind of my thing. But hopefully, this is for the good of esports in Australia. Hopefully, Team Bliss just wants to have two powerhouses, and they can expand it. They can have more resources. They've got more staff. They've got more management. And they can use the resources from Chiefs to expand Australian esports and move into, create bigger tournaments. We could look at that. I was also looking at Australian Esports Association and seeing if Team Militia could somehow do something with them and host tournaments and host public events with Team Militia. That could be cool. So that could be something that I look at over the next week or two, just to see what's going on there. But other than that, I don't know. I feel like something's happening with Australian esports. ESL's gone. So who's going to host those ESL tournaments, or who's going to replace those tournaments with that prize money in Australia? No one's investing in it. There's teams obviously struggling. Whippy stepping down as CEO of whatever he was a part of. Yeah, okay. I can't find who this Whippy guy is. I saw it. I should have saved it, but I didn't. But the esports team he was running was quite a large esports team. They had a fairly big following on Twitter. And he stepped down, and he's now starting to do something else. So it's interesting to see what's going on in the world of esports at the moment. It's a little bit concerning, but at the same time, these things need to happen for things to progress. And if Team Bliss has the vision and innovation and funds to be able to produce tournaments, and if they can somehow replace ESL, then hey, all for the better, I think. And looking forward to what's changing. But that's pretty much going to do it for the podcast this week. That's about 20 odd minutes. Keep these informative and informational. And the real estate's going well. Esports team Militia's doing its thing. Real estate's going well, and always looking at making minor improvements to this podcast over time. So we'll see how we go. Next week I might set something up and maybe do something a little bit differently, but we'll see how we go there. But thank you everybody for listening or watching, depending on what platform you are on. If you enjoyed it, please share it, like it, subscribe. I don't care what you do, but thanks and enjoy. I'll see you next week. Bye.